Hey everyone, is anybody in here right now? This is going to be my first time going live, so like everyone else, this is going to be crazy awkward. Hey, Deputy Cruz and Dirty Lawn Thug. Man, what's going on, guys? Yeah, I'm going to wait till some people come in. And sorry, light. I don't have best light. I'm not set up for a live stream, but I'll talk more about why I'm doing live tonight a little later. So if you guys got any questions or anything like that, this is just kind of a let's talk about anything we want to talk about. 365 Lawn Care, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, Kevin? Good to see you, man. Awesome. Awesome. Gosh, I can't lie, guys. I'm a little bit kind of blown away that I actually have people already. Yeah. What's going on, Rob? Good to have you, man. Howdy. Yep. Awesome. Awesome. So, yeah, Sunday night at 9 p.m. And this is really the only time that I have for live because life is busy, and I hope to explain why life is so busy and why I haven't put out videos in weeks and weeks and more weeks. So hopefully there'll be some good conversation. Tell us a bedtime story? Oh, goodness. You know, my kids say that. They ask for bedtime stories, and they don't want like a real bedtime story that somebody else wrote. They want like something out of my brain. I'm like, do you know whose dad you have? Are you kidding me? Like, what kind of imagination do I have? I don't have no imagination. I've been good, Kevin, man. I've been good. Thanks for asking. No. I know. Uh, that the D word has popped up a few times in our community, and it's that's sad. But no, that is not the case. Not the case for me. A combat story, dude. If I saw some combat, I might have a good story. But unfortunately, I think maybe I'll tell that story while we're waiting for other folks, if any other folks come. The best combat story I have really isn't even a combat story. I was in Kirkuk, Iraq, and I was a vehicle maintainer at that time, working on Humvees and just kind of whatever rolled through. And at that time, we were running a lot of convoys, and the convoys would come through. They'd be all shot up or whatever. We'd have to, I don't know, replace a part or whatever, just do whatever, just kind of. If they had a complaint, we fixed it. No questions asked. That's just the way you work over there. Like all the rules, all the military rules, like military revolves around rules and structure. And but when you're deployed, it's totally different. Sorry, guys, my phone's going off. And but anyways, it actually has nothing to do with that. What the closest thing I got to combat, I guess, was just I was reporting to work one morning, and we heard a big boom and things hitting the top of the truck, and I wasn't even really outside, and we're like, oh my gosh, I think that was a mortar, because at that time they were just throwing mortars over the fence, and it's pretty primitive stuff. So Kevin, you kind of, I'm sure you have a similar story, probably a bazillion of them like just like this, but that's probably the closest call I ever had. I was always inside the wire and just working on trucks, had my head in some oil. Guess there's a few others out there too, but that's my most intense moment. Yeah. What else we got here? Have it been raped? Please don't divorce. No. Story. That's good. Make it up for the kids. Yeah, right. Well, when I make up a story, it's like you know how your kids, they don't even like, they'll believe everything that comes out of your mouth, but they don't even believe my stories. They're like, no way. They don't even ask, is that true? No, they don't even ask. They're just so like, Dad, you're silly. Chuck Norris, missing in action, but make it. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and review some of those movies. Maybe I'll slip one of those in on you guys one of these days and see if you guys recognize it. You share my ribeye steak. You know what? That's grounds. I'm pretty sure that's biblical grounds. If you don't share your steak, that's grounds for divorce. Yeah. So, gosh. Well, let's see here. 5 minutes into it. What do you guys think? You think we should wait for some more people? It's only 5 minutes into it, but I'm prepared to go for about an hour. I don't know if this will last an hour. I don't know. Hey, what's going on, Joffrey, man? Yeah, excellent, man. Yeah, things are good. Things are really, really good. Although I've been absent in YouTube for, I guess it's probably been about 6 weeks, maybe even 7 weeks by this time. I was putting videos out every 2 weeks, and I know everybody thinks the worst, when you don't hear from someone. And yeah, like I said earlier, sadly, I mean, we've had a couple of, guys in some tough spots. But mine isn't mine. We're actually moving in a good direction. Once upon a time, there was this long guy who, yeah. Don't eat the mushrooms in your lawn. Don't do that. Bad idea. Or is it? I don't know. It could be. I've never eaten one. Have you guys ever eaten a mushroom out of your lawn? Hey, what's going on, Stacy? It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. I hope to meet some of you guys, by the way. Stacy kind of reminded me, because is there anybody that doesn't like or want to see Stacy in person? See that beard, that epic beard, man. I hope we get to go to GIE this year. DLT, man. How are you? Goodness gracious, that's a pleasant surprise. Chris, Blind TV, what's going on, my man? I'm doing good. Sorry, I've been out of touch, man. I've been out of touch with everybody lately, but I got a special spot for my local homies. So, yep. Just Lanier, man, what is going on here? It's good to have everybody. It's good to have everybody. Man, I wish I could have spent more time with you, Danny, over at Ben's. I know I got there late, but when I get into it, hopefully I'll explain a little bit why I didn't show up a little earlier. But I was excited to meet you, and it was just late, So sorry I didn't get more time with you. Oh, thank you. First live. I guess I'll just let that cat out of the bag. I think I might be going strictly live. I think more to come in this live stream for why that is. Don't know who that is. Did I miss something? Don't know who that is. Yeah, man, Chris, all is well with me, man. I'm getting really close to just kind of getting into it. Lanier is a superstar. He is a superstar, man. I don't know a single person that doesn't know Danny. So I know that sometimes, like us long guys, we're kind of, I mean, I call myself the lawn care little guy, but a lot of us that are running our YouTube channels, we don't really feel like a star, and, we don't really feel, I mean, at least that's how I feel, but I mean, I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. So maybe I should feel that way. I don't know. But everybody that I've met in this YouTube lawn care community, none of us have put off that larger than life necessarily because of YouTube. Some of us are larger than life, it seems like, because they're doing amazing things and they're just amazing people. But when we think about the personalities that we are on YouTube, man, the most down-to-earth people ever, Tennessee Grass Monkey. Hi, man. How are you doing? Man, things are going kind of fast. So I apologize if I miss someone. And I know that this is kind of an art to keep up with the comments. So where are we at here? There we go, Danny. Stacy Weeby braid. I hope Stacy braids his beard. I do. That would be awesome. the tuck under. I don't know if you guys saw that video. He tucked it in his shirt. It was hilarious. Richard Masterson. That's one reason why I wanted to start doing lives, is because I figured out with lives you kind of get to know people a little bit better. You can do a video and you can get comments, but there's something totally different about lives and being part of a live. So that's one of the things I want to do, is I want to know who's watching me. I want to know, and I want to interact a little bit and kind of get to know you guys and get familiar seeing your names, because I know there's a lot of people that are watching my videos and they don't do a lot of commenting, and I'm totally okay with that. I'm not trying to make this really even necessarily an income stream, although I do have plans should I get monetized at one point or another. I've got great plans for that, and none of it is going to stay in my house. I want everybody to know that. But anyways, I'm a relational kind of guy, and that's something that's been missing in my channels. I want to know you guys a little bit better, and and I want you guys to know me a little bit better. I mean, I'm awkward. I'm the most awkward guy in the world. So yeah, anyways, awkward moment right there, huh? Yeah. Okay, guys. Hey, I'm not going to leave the comments right now. I'm like leave them alone, but I'm going to take my attention off of it because I kind of want to get a little bit going and tell you guys why I'm on live and just achieve the purpose for why I'm doing this live stream. But of course, one of them, just in the course of doing live streams, I hope a residual thing that we will all reap from that is that we'll know each other better and be more connected. But anyways, guys, so what's been going on with me, right? I've been off YouTube for, I think 6 or 7 weeks, and I haven't been completely off of it. I have been watching some, not as much as I was. So I apologize if you haven't seen me on your channel and you're used to seeing me commenting. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with anything except some of you guys know that like the theme of my channel is faith, family, and lawn care, right? And lawn care is natural for me. Lawn care is something that was my wife, Kristen. For those of you that don't know, isn't she gorgeous? Yep. She makes the dark look like light, and she makes the world beautiful to me. But we've had some changes in our faith. Okay. For those of you that know, I claim Christianity, and I'm a student of the Bible, and I try to be as faithful as possible with that. And then when I find something that I feel like the Lord wants me to do, or I feel like his word is telling me to do, then we try to adjust appropriately. And one of those things is what some people call the Sabbath. And we would go to a church and we met on Sundays. But I just feel like that the word is telling me that that Saturday is the biblical Sabbath, and I haven't found. I've got a few mentors in my faith, and I presented it to them, and they're like, "Yeah, that's the biblical Sabbath." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, cool." You know, so everybody seems to be in agreement in my faith community, but for whatever reason, you know, Sunday. Well, what happens is on Saturday that was a huge mow day for me. It was like a huge mow day for me. That's where I got like half my lawns done through the entire week, right? So what happened was now I don't work on Saturday because that's one of the things it says in the Bible. It's one of the 10 Commandments. It says you should do no work on this day, keep it holy. So I know this is probably boring stuff for some people, but this is just what's going on with me. Well, also Saturday, even I'm not working, I'm not doing lawns, I'm doing it on Sundays now. And Saturday was also the day that I edited all my YouTube videos. So I tried to kind of keep up with that. I think I got a video out, like 1 or 2 videos when I started. I might even got a little bit more, but it got really, really difficult. And then I just couldn't figure out how to do it. And then the other day I was like, you know what, maybe I just need to go live. That's probably what I need to do. And then I started thinking about all the other benefits, like connecting with you guys better. I mean, gosh, I mean, I'm blown away at the people right now. I mean, I don't know where the count is. Maybe more experienced guys tell me how to count this stuff. But I guess, is that 16 people watching, I guess, with the little head people? 16 people, that's amazing to me. I just cannot believe that. And I don't know if you guys normally watch or if it's just live or maybe Instagram, something like that. Cause I put it on Instagram because I think I have people that follow me Instagram, but not on my YouTube. But anyways, no matter how you guys got here, I'm so thankful you guys are here, and I'm glad to see your names popping up and that we get to connect with each other. So that's the reason why I haven't posted videos, because I just couldn't get them edited, because I'm not doing anything on the Sabbath except for trying to connect with my God. Some people might say, well, that's the time for the family and things like that. And I do spend time with my family, like small kids demand time. So the more time you have free and you're just kind of like hanging out, the more they're going to be like, hey, daddy, you know, and you're like, yeah, and we're going to do stuff. But I try to keep my focus on the Lord, studying his word, prayer time, quietness, having a legitimate rest. Because if you guys are like me, you guys like work all the time, like all the time. I'm just checking out here. Subscribe. Can't believe Oh man, I'm just checking the comments real quick. Man, Shane, don't worry, man. There's so many of us out there, and it's if you're not making a huge effort to get discovered by people, then it's not too surprising. So, man, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it, brother. And by the way, I've been following your channel as well, and it's just good to have you in the community. So, thanks, man. Let's see here. What else we got here? Neil, I think I'm going to get a face mask, a logo face mask. Wow. It'd just be another beard, by the way. If you got the Commander, a logo face mask, it would just be another beard. That's all. Except for Toro. 365 Lawn says Danny who, LOL, everybody knows Danny except for Toro, it seems. Yeah, right. David Live, man. What do you say, brother? Thanks for stopping by. I know you've been doing some videos here and there, and you reached out to me, and man, like, I don't know if you caught what I just said, but it's just I've been kind of out of touch with YouTube because of the Sabbath, taking that time off. Let's see here. How's it going? That's good. There we go. I'm having moments of silence, and I think I'm way behind on. Can't see you, Matt. Very dark. Oh, I know. I'm not set up for live, and I was messing around. Hey, let me do this. Let me turn the light on. It just might be a little bit blinding for you guys, and you guys let me know if you like it or hate it. You know, dark, whatever. Is that better? I'm going to look down at the comment. Okay, cry face, wink, wink. Better, worse, I don't know. Much better. Okay, good. Very good. Very, very good. Yeah, I know. If the live thing really takes off, then I'm probably going to invest in some equipment, maybe even like a backdrop to help control the light, things like that. So hopefully it gets better. And now that you see my face, you might be sorry. You might be like, turn that light off. So, Waymaker. Okay. So, yeah, it's been great. The other thing that's been going on, guys, that's been kind of slowing me down a little bit as far as YouTube is because and everything kind of rolls into another, is we bought a camper. You know, in the middle of lawn season, we bought a camper, right? In years past, it seemed like I could work 7 days a week if I really desired. But now I'm like sold, like I'm taking this time down, I'm downtime. And I've always told my wife that I wanted to get a camper at my full-time job. Once I got weekends off my full-time job, I wanted to get a camper, and then I'm going to downsize the lawn schedule so that we can go camping. The weight loss, yeah. Next topic. How about that? So my wife, she remembered that because now we're not working on Saturday, right? And I only work every other Friday on lawns, but I still work Monday through Friday at my full-time job. So she said, hey, she's like, if you're serious, like we're not going to do any work on Saturday, then we can probably get a camper, right? And I was like, yeah, let's go get one. So we went and got one, and it's been a lot of fun. We've been on 2 trips. The first trip was not that fun because we've never owned a camper. We're not a camping family. We're not outdoorsy. That's just not the way we are. And then like being a lawn guy, right? Like out in the sun all the day, and my full-time job, I'm out in the sun all day on an airfield. So there's no shade. And so when it's hot in Oklahoma, I'm like hot all the time. So it's like, you know, anyways, we got an air conditioned one. We didn't get a pop-up. I mean, I guess pop-up has AC, but we didn't get a pop-up. We got one that has like some cool stuff in it. And we've been doing that too. So we've been occupied, and a lot of our focus, our mental capacity has been going towards that camper. And we're really looking forward to that. And we got a week-long camping trip coming up in October for what the Bible calls the Feast of Tabernacles. So we're going with our church with that, and it's going to be a fun week-long camping trip. Yeah, Lawn Commander Stacy, he asked about my weight loss. If you guys followed my personal channel at all earlier this year, I just did something as an experiment, and I'm used to going up and down in weight, and I've done all kinds of different things. I haven't done everything. Um, I've yet to do the carnivore diet, and my goal isn't to just try new things and all that. But I heard about fasting and how it can be good for weight loss, and I usually go from anywhere from like 170 all the way down to like 140. So that's a pretty big swing through a year. It's not always quite that extreme, but I started out, I think, at 162 in January, and I was going to do a 30-day fast, alternate day fast. So I was going to wait. I wouldn't eat an entire day, and I'd sleep that night, and then I would eat the next morning. So it ended up being about 34 hours of not eating, which I thought would be like really hard. In the first couple of days it was, and I ended up losing in that first month, I think, Stacy might remember from my post, but I think it was like 13 pounds. Stacy, I ended up continuing on, and I ended up losing, let's see here, I went from 162 all the way down to 142. So, well, that's 20 pounds right there. That's 20 pounds. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Or 168. I'm sorry. I started at 168. So 2 from 8 is 6 is 26 pounds. I didn't stay at 142 very long, because when I started, just 145 was my goal. And I got on the scale today, and I was about 144 after a long day of work. And so, I mean, that's gone good. I achieved my goal, and as it turned out, you can, if you eat every other day, you can literally eat whatever you want and still lose weight, although it's not healthy. And Stacey, I don't know if you like it when I do this. I did this before too, but Stacey's been on carnivore diet, and Jay's Crazy Cut's been on carnivore. Now they're inspired by Stacey. So he's always got great information as far as dietary effects. So if you're interested in that, reach out to Stacy. Good to hear. It is good to hear. If that was for me. Yeah. Take your downtime, guys. This isn't supposed to be about advice, because I used to kind of try to dish out some advice, but then I realized that my business is way different than a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses are growth minded. I'm not growth minded. I'm like downsizing. I'm not downsizing because of any reason, except I don't need that much money. I mean, I could use that much money, but I don't want to work that much, So I'm always trying to become more profitable, but I'm not always necessarily trying to grow my business necessarily, like get more work. I'm just trying to do less work for more money is all I'm trying to do. Yeah, but the advice is, man, take your downtime. You got to rest. This is not easy work. I mean, it's not like it doesn't require, like superpowers or nothing. You guys know that, but it's hard on the body. And I'm going to turn 44 this year. And to some of you guys that might be younger, but to some of you guys, that's like old. And once I turned 40, a lot changed in my body, and I'm not as tolerant of that kind of physical work. So I'm kind of welcoming downsizing the business. Weight loss, good to hear. Sounds fun. What camper did I get? I ended up getting a Keystone. What was it? Oh, Hideout. Keystone Hideout, a 22-foot. So it's not super small, but it's not large by no means. I pull it with my Toyota Tacoma, and that was a concern for me because of the weight, and because the Tacoma had a 3,500 pound towing capacity according to the internet, which seemed to be backed up by other information. I didn't have the tow package on it, so I had to. I dumped about $1,300 in upgrades to upgrade the suspension, which I've been wanting to do that anyway, because my shocks really couldn't take the bumps. It could handle my trailer well, but the bumps, like if you're going too fast and you hit something, we got like these weird like reverse bump things going on, and I needed to upgrade my suspension, so I did that. I got an oil cooler, a mega beast, and a brake controller, and I had to get a new plug a 4-way plug, and that cost me about $1,300 altogether. And it pulls fine. It pulls just fine. My transmission temperature stays about 195. So if you guys are mechanical like that, you're probably like, that's pretty good. And it is. But yeah, we're loving it. Wow, I'm getting lost here. Okay, what camper I get? It's a lot of weight. Yeah, it is a lot of weight. Every pound is work. When you're losing weight, like every pound deserves celebration. I'm telling you. So if any of you are out there trying, just stick with it. Stick with your guns and discipline. There's an amount of discipline, but just desire. Do you really want it? If you really want it, then go for it. Get it done. You can do it. And every pound counts. Celebrate every pound. Keto. Yeah, nice. Very nice. That's almost 30 pounds with 26 pounds, sheepdog. Nice, brother. Yep, that keto. Good. Nice sheepdog. Had to quit. It's too hard. Keto too hard. You know what? Yeah, it can be. It can be if you're like really into the bread. Like I'm telling you, Dave, my wife, one time, I'm not kidding you, she made pork loin for me, mashed potatoes, rice, and macaroni and cheese. Same meal. That's how we were, man. Yeah, I know there's going to be a day where I wish I could see 40 again too, Deputy. Yep. It's been keto for a few years and lost. Yeah, huge amount of weight. That keto is just proven to be successful. Long commute. Yeah, keto carnivore. I know more about keto than I do carnivore, but they're both revolve around low carb. So Stacy's got keto / carnivore, and I guess carnivore is kind of like supercharging that keto probably. Feel free to tell us more about that in the comments if anybody's interested there. Yeah, 180 is good. How tall are you, Stacy? 180. Gosh, because 180 for me, I'm like, oh my gosh. But I realize that 180 is what normal humans are. My name's lawncarelittleguy, and some people are like, well, you're not that little, and it's like, well, that's when I was around 180. That was like a normal human, right? But 145 is where I feel best, and that's why it's for me. It's not the number, because that's what everybody says. Why do you want to be 145? They're like, man, that's flyweight. I'm like, well, it's about how I feel. I just feel good, walking in my shoes at 145, and that's what matters to me. Yeah, I know, Joffrey. I get that a lot, and I have my dad to thank for that. He's like 72, and he looks like he's like my age. So hopefully with a little less hair, but he's not totally bald. So I'm assuming I'm probably going to have hair too when I'm 72. But yeah, but the way I look and the things that are going on in my body are not. You want to hear something awkward? You know what I got on my 40th birthday? Hemorrhoids. I've never had hemorrhoids before. That's what I got on my 40th birthday. Thank you, Lord. Appreciate it. Can't wait to see what I get for 44. $190. What's that? There we go. I think I actually made it to the bottom of the comments. So, yeah. So, trying to think of what else is going on. Do you guys want to hear about what's kind of going on in the business? I've done some stuff this year. I've done some stuff. You see Waymaker there. This is my second year working with Rob from Waymaker Lawn Care. We share a collaboration project. If you go in some of my older videos, it's a church property that we do. It's about what do we go up to, Rob? Isn't it like 2.5, 3 acres now? Maybe, I think it's like 3. We'll just say 2.5 to 3.5 acres, which for us is a large property, especially me. And I invited him in on that. Oh, you going to bed? You too, brother. Thank you. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. We'll see you again. Yeah, me and Rob, we share that, and it's been a great job. It's one of our favorite jobs. We get to work with each other, see each other every 2 weeks, and we get that church done. And but other than that, I went last year. Last year I downsized, and then I was going to downsize again this year. I went from 33 properties 2 years ago to 22 properties 1 year ago, and I stayed at 22. Get rid of my cayenne pills. Like, do you eat them? Or is that something you kind of rub? Yeah, that's gross, right? Like, since when did this turn into an episode of The Doctors? Cayenne pills. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that in case 44 is bad to me. 2 to 3, yeah, 2 to 3 acres. But yeah, it's been a good thing. That's been a good thing. Collaborate. I kind of lost my train of thought. Really works. I'm gonna try it next time then. Oh yeah, I went down to 22 properties, and I was going to go down even more than that. I was going to go down to 12, and the reason being was because I just didn't have to work. My wife went back to work because she stayed home to be with the kids when she had my son. She worked through my daughter, but then when she had my son, she wanted to stay home, so she quit her job, and she had a pretty good job, so I had to make up that money, and that's why I started the business. And so she started back to work. She started a house cleaning business. And so when she did that, she had some income. I'm like, okay, I don't have to work as much because I'm just working myself in the ground oftentimes. So I was going to downsize. But then what happened at the first of the year, she was on a hoverboard at a friend's house, and she fell off and broke her arm. There's like the 2 bones right in here, and she broke one like completely off, and she had to have surgery and put a plate in. And we don't have normal insurance. My company is just ridiculous. It's over $2,000 a month, and we get paid some of that. Worley, what's going on, man? Yep. And Worley, I got to apologize to you. I don't have the impact in the mail yet. So, but I'm going to get that to you. I promise you, because I don't want you to, there's no reason to be dealing with lawnmower blades like that. So for those of you who don't know, Worley cut his finger shortly, or just a short period ago, and man, impact's the way to go. So I'm gonna send that out to him. And email face for more info. yeah. Private message David for hemorrhoid treatment on Facebook. Yeah, I bet, and I bet it's kind of sore. I bet you're having all kinds of little sensations, because when I cut my finger on a table saw, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. That's not the right finger, but you see how I have like an indentation? That was from a table saw, and I think it took me 14 weeks after surgery to get that done. So did you end up having to have surgery, or was it just kind of like stitches? They stitched you up, glued it, and on your way? Yeah. Tip is tingly. Yeah. Because man, you get those nerves, and nerves heal slow. And I've still got tingliness and sensitivity, especially when it's cold. I'll whack this on something hard, and it really strikes a nerve, so to speak. So yeah, that might not yet. Hoping not. So you might have to have surgery. Yeah. Well, if you do, they put me to sleep for mine, and that's the best sleep I ever get is when I have surgery. Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is about guys. No matter how experienced you are around power tools, it happens. It happens. I was pushing a board through, and then you know how like when it's long, you don't have somebody to catch it. You push it so far, and then you walk around and you pull it the rest of the way through. Well, like a dummy, I push it through, and then I turn my back to walk around backwards, like that's just dumb. You never turn your back on a saw, running saw. That's just dumb. Well, I did it, and I paid the price. See my doc on Tuesday. Yeah, well, you have to let us know, man. Let us know how that goes. I hope you don't. I'll pray for that for sure. If you're like me, I got to pay for that stuff. Like when my wife broke her wrist, we were in for $10,500 for a wrist, and the bills were over $20,000. So hope you don't. Tuesday, yeah. So yeah, so that's why I did not downsize. I decided to just keep the load and pay off her broken arm, which was funny because we were kind of stressing it a little bit, and then we went and bought a travel trailer. I don't know if that was a smart idea or not yet, but we're fine. For sure getting the stitch out. Oh, good. Yeah, good. That's excellent. Yeah, my company didn't offer great insurance. It was over $2,000 a month for the family, and I just couldn't. That wasn't an option. Wasn't going to be an option. So we went with MetaShare. It's a faith-based program, and it's not like insurance company where the insurance company has money and you do a claim with them and the insurance company pays. It's all of its members have bank accounts, so, and they share each other's bills. So they get submitted, and if it's a qualifying thing, then they draw off of these people's checking accounts and pay your bills with that money. So the insurance company has nothing, and that was kind of a process for us. But we chose a higher deductible to keep the premium low. I think it's like $300 a month, I think, and we pay for all of our routine care. So that was the situation we're in. So those of you that have insurance and you are considering taking an option without insurance, employment wise, whether it's you're going full-time lawn care or you're working part-time like I am, and consider the insurance factor and what you're getting from whatever source of provision you're getting it from, because health insurance is a benefit. It's a benefit. Yep. Let's see here, 9:37. So we got about 23 minutes left. Anything you guys want to talk about? Anything at all? Because I'm starting this live just as a absolute open book, so I can't remember what I named this now for some reason. I was sitting here, I was trying to, because when you schedule a live, you got to put a little name up there. And the most watch out for. I know, right? I know. The mower blades get you. That's what I get scared about with my wife, because she mows our lawn. What plans do you have for lawn care next year? Yeah, next year the plan is to go ahead and downsize again. So either 10 or 12, because what had happened when I downsized the first time down to 22 lawns, I added weed control. My program's only 6 visits. So when you compare that in Oklahoma, I estimate you get about 36 visits on property. So with weed control, I only got to do 6 visits. And I was thinking about the margins on that. And I'm like, I think that's going to work out pretty good if I can keep it simple. Not go buy a $4,000 rig or more, $10,000 rig. But if I can do lawns with a backpack sprayer, which I know it's not efficient, totally know it, but it's definitely the cheapest route by far. But if I can just go spray a few lawns and just do some fertilizer here and there, then maybe I can make up some of that money pretty easily, because I'm just not on property as much. So that's what I did with that. Now next year, or this year, I took on more weed control because I got a little more confident. I feel good with the chemicals that I'm using. I'm comfortable with the equipment. It is great money, isn't it? And I think I could probably even increase my margins, and I need to consider that because right now I'm charging about what I would charge to mow. But the problem is, and this is where I'm losing a lot, is because I'm choosing to apply with a backpack sprayer, and that is just not efficient. Not efficient. 8 cents. Yeah, that's about where I'm at 0.0 square foot. Yeah, that's about where I'm at. But I'm losing my money on the time though, because I'm on property way too long for spraying. I should be there less than 10 minutes, as opposed to lawn mowing, where for me, my average lawn takes me 40 minutes. I know that sounds like a long time, but when you're solo and I'm doing all these small properties, right? So I got fence lines, I've got landscaping, I got driveways and sidewalks and, crack grass. And I mean, for some reason, those small properties can really chew up some time. So, yeah, so that's where I'm losing it on my spraying as well, is because if I had something where I could only be on property for like 10 minutes, well, then I can make 3 times the money that I could on mowing just in volume. But I don't have I'm not equipped for that. And I am considering some options for how I can do that, because I'm really not happy with that amount of time on property. How's the humidity there? I just started mowing for a lady who moved from Oklahoma, and she makes it. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is more humid where you're at. It's been a long time since I've been in your area, in Illinois. I was from Southern Illinois, and now I'm in Oklahoma, but our humidity has been around 85%. And I think it's been a little bit lower this last week, but we're forecasted for some rain to come in, about the highest chance of 60% for a couple days. So maybe the humidity might end up going up a little bit, but it's weird. I feel like the intensity of the sun is worse here than it is in Illinois, Missouri. But I think you guys might actually be more humid. I'm not sure though. We control it, realize. Yeah, it's okie dokie. Yeah, it's more complex than mowing because of all the record keeping, understanding what it is that you need to be keeping track of information wise, and understanding application rates, and even beyond understanding it, because the books that come with the chemicals, they're not the easiest things to read and to interpret. And if you're like me, where you got to go by ounces per 1,000 square feet versus ounces per acre, I mean, I was just having trouble with that yesterday or the day before or something like that. You know, it's just a new chemical and getting adapted to it, and it's more complex for sure. And there's a lot of legal stuff that goes with it, in contrast to just regular mowing. So it's definitely got a much different level of management. So in that way, I'd agree with you. But physically, the toll that it takes on my body, for me, I believe it's nice. I think I'd rather be spraying than mowing. But yeah, at the time to manage that process, and to make sure that if you ever, get an inspector on property, to make sure you got your ducks in a row, that's a whole other aspect of it that maybe a lot of people don't consider. But that gets easier, I promise you. If this is your first year in that, this is my second year, and this year was way better on my mind than it was last year. So that'll get better, I promise. And I'm hoping it continues to get better for me as I get better with my craft. Here we go. Landscapes of America. Where the humidity sucks here in Ohio. Yeah, humidity's terrible. Terrible. I know. I'm thinking about a pull around sprayer. I was looking at those. That might be a cost-effective way, but my lawns are so small that my concern is that I'm going to do more, like this, that, and this, trying to fit it in places, but it still might be good. If anybody, I'd love to borrow one, honestly, and just drive it around just to see how it maneuvers. And if it does good, then I would love to do a pull around. That'd be sweet. Why not just do granular and spot spray the weeds? You'll cut your time. Yeah, granular. I've thought about it, but I haven't done enough research. So for my first year, I'll tell you, this is what I did. For my first year, I went to a dealer that dealt, in a variety of chemicals that would probably have anything that I would need. And I went there and I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. What do I need? What's everybody else doing around here? And he gave me this list. So this is apparently a question he'd had before, and he gave me this list, and all of it was chemical application. And with my idea, that matched up with my idea of what I should be doing. So I just went with it. And this is my second year, and I just stuck with it. I added a couple different chemicals into it, but I stuck with the liquid spraying. Now, the thing that I have about the granular, okay, that I'm uncertain about, is because granule needs water, if I'm not mistaken. In Oklahoma, although the last few years we've had a very good amount of rain for Oklahoma, but we're typically in a drought. So if I apply a granule and the customer does not water their lawn, this is a question for you actually, is that going to render it ineffective? And part of the reason why I asked that is because there's another guy that works on the Tinker Air Force Base like I do, and I ran into him, and he does a lot of spraying, and he tried granules and it didn't work. And I'm wondering if that's what it is. I'm wondering if we don't get enough water into the soil naturally through rain, and the customer doesn't water the lawn. Is that okay still with granule, or is it better to go with a liquid application if you don't get water? So I will wait for your reply. Oh boy. Deputy pulling hose is good and bad. I used to hate it. Yeah, I can see that. I pull a big old hose in my civilian job. I run a fuel truck, and we have 60 foot of 2.5-inch fuel hose, aircraft fueling hose. And man, that thing gets heavy. That thing gets heavy. Nothing like a spraying hose, but I understand the factor of having to pull things out and restore them. Hotter though, we just probably have higher humidity. Yeah, that could be. That could very well be, especially since you guys have cool season grass up there, Joffrey, in Illinois, Washington, Illinois. I say Washington. He understands me. We're not very good with cool season grass down here. We've got common Bermuda, and it's very drought tolerant. It loves heat, and it loves even dry. It loves water too, but it can handle dry. So that's what we have mostly down here. I wish we had that beautiful grass that you guys have up there. I love the cool season grasses. They're beautiful. I think I missed something. Could use a soft wash setup for a soft wash setup. What is that? A soft wash setup? I'm not sure what that is. I'm interested. I am. I'm licensed to spray. There's a lot of guys that are not licensed. The guy that I was having spray my customers, which wasn't very many, he was not licensed, and I asked him about it, and he just said he's been doing it for 10 years or something like that, and never been a problem. He didn't want to be accountable, and it's just circumstances were just very favorable to not letting him spray any of my lawns anymore. Not just for that, but there were other reasons. He had some issues going on and wasn't making it to the job. So that was a problem. And that was another reason why I decided to start spraying too, is because if I told my customer something, I needed to make sure it was going to happen. So I was scheduling him for spraying, and then he wasn't showing up, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I got to answer for that, So I did get licensed, and I'm not licensed under someone else because I'm a sole proprietor. So I got the certified applicator as opposed to a technician license. And that whole process really isn't hard either. It's not crazy expensive either, just to go take the test, and for your licensing fees, you got to pay for each category, that type of stuff. But I'm not sure. Do you spray? I might be telling you everything you already know. But if not, then and you want to, the process is pretty easy in Oklahoma. I know that's not true in every state. I heard Copper Creek talk about that once, and he said it's just not even worth it in Florida for what they got to go through. In so many words, that's not his exact words. Sure. Okay. Let's see here. Not a hose boom sprayer with a small, yeah. How much for it? An inspector, the odds. I know. I've heard that. I've heard different stories though. An inspector, and I think that's why that one guy that I was having spray, why he just didn't have fears, because he just, I guess, it's not that big a deal. And if he's not registered, then they're not coming to his house. They don't have an address. They don't even know he exists. So they have to catch him out in the field, right? But I told you about the guy that was using granule and he wasn't happy with it out here. He said he worked under a friend that did all spraying. That's all he did. He didn't mow or any of that, just spraying. And he said he gets an inspector every single year. So who knows if that's the honest to goodness truth, but from what I understand about state inspectors is they're in short supply. So if they're trying to cover the entire state, and you only got like 2 or 3 of them per state, there's a really small chance. But I sure hope we don't get a complaint. I'll say that. And I hope I never see an inspector, because if I could be perfectly honest with you, I'm not perfectly compliant. Just make sure your license. Yeah. I've got my license number on the truck. Faux show. Granule is better around here because we have cool. Yeah. That's what I'm wondering. I wonder if it's just the area that I'm in. Uh-oh. I think I got a text from Rob. Oh, no, it's from my mother-in-law. But I'll catch her after this. We got about 9 more minutes left. And I wanna stay true to that. Granule better, granule more effective. But water isn't. And I think that's probably why he wasn't happy when he used it. I just guessed. It just made sense. I mean, granular always needs water. I'm pretty sure. Water important, small, keep it simple. Have a slip after service. Yeah. And honestly, I carry myself in a professional way, but there's some aspects of my business that I'm not as professional in, and I almost don't even want to say that, but I don't leave anything with them. I just communicate through them with text, because most of my customers I have a pretty good relationship with, because I work in my own neighborhood for the most part. So they know me already. I'm licensed for legal purposes, but communication is really easy with me. So as far as leaving a slip, I don't do that. I don't even give my customers receipts for nothing. If they want one, I give it to them. But nobody's ever asked me for a receipt. Nobody's ever asked me for anything. Now I do have my records that show everything. So I use Yardbook for that. And so I can print those applications out should I get audited. But my customers, most of them could care less. But that's probably the difference. Because if it was a bigger company, I would imagine they would expect that. But they know me, and they know how that I'm just me. I'm a sole proprietor, only employee, and I think that's what's appealing to them. So when I say it's not as professional, I'm not, and I don't like to use that word. It's because I'm a relational kind of business, and some of those things are not as necessary to maintain the relationship or professional appearance. However, that's only going to go so far anyway, because they understand that this is relationally based, and if they ever have a problem, they just call me, or if they ever want to know what happened, they just got to call me. Other than that, I assume most of that stuff will go in the trash anyway. Some need watering. Yeah, I've thought about building my own setup, Stacy. I have, but I haven't priced that out yet. But I imagine it would be cheaper, because it's just, man, it's really, really expensive. Those rigs are. What's going on, Jay? And Christine, if she's there, or maybe this is Christine and no Jay. I don't know. But it's good to have you guys. You guys caught me at the tail end. I'm fixing to wrap it up in about 6 minutes, because I want to make sure I help with my kids if I can. No, unless you have a major liquid spill. That's how complaints citrus. Yeah. And I'm still doing that. I'm kind of testing some chemicals to see what works better and things like that. Yeah. Stacy, there we go. So any last minutes until last week? Yeah. I can't even remember if I fully answered the question about my plan for next year, but the skinny of it is that I'm going to be downsizing again. Mm-hmm. Yep. We're going through the hellos again. Yep. So, yeah. So, well, I'll just wrap up with this thing, guys. Just kind of my plan going forward with my YouTube channel. I think this is probably what I'm going to do instead, because it doesn't involve any editing. As I said in the beginning of my video, because I'm observing a Saturday Sabbath, a time of rest on Saturday, that's when I was doing all my video editing, and I just can't do that no more. I just don't, I don't have that kind of time anymore. So I think I'm going to stick with the live, and I'm just going to call it the most irresponsible live stream in lawn care, because there's no agenda to it. There's no, if any of you guys watch or listen to Rush Limbaugh, and I don't listen to that much anymore, but he has Open Line Friday. Okay, so this will always be open line. Okay, anything you guys want to talk about, I'm open with it. I'm fine with religion. I'm fine with politics. I'm fine with lawn care, parenting, nutrition, anything that you guys want to talk about. I will have an answer, and that answer maybe I don't know, but but I'll give you a perspective. I'll give you a perspective, and I like to think that my perspective can oftentimes be a little bit unique. I can't lie, because my business, it's my focus is different than most of the business that you see out there, and it's more about how I run my life. My business kind of parallels that. So if there's anything you guys ever want to talk about, I believe I'm going to keep this at Sundays at 9 p.m. for an hour. That way everybody can go to bed if they want. It's late enough to where hopefully the kids are in bed. Mine aren't. They just got back from Texas. But hopefully it's a good time. But this is pretty much the only time. But it's so good to see everybody. I can't believe the turnout for this live stream. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for engaging me, giving me questions, just spending time with me, because I know that time is valuable and you have a choice. And I'm just glad that you showed up to support me and to engage with me. So I'm looking forward to the next live stream. I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody better. And I guess that's about it. I'm looking forward to also dropping by y'all's channels too. So I'm hoping to make a little bit more time for that now that things are kind of leveling out. And it's definitely in the off season, I'll be dropping by people more and more, even though I know that's a lower time. But anyways, back to awkward, right? I said that too. I'm so awkward. So got 2 minutes to spare. 2 minutes to spare. 2-minute warning. Any touchdowns? Thumbs ups? Wink winks? Crying? Anything like that? Laughter? Yay. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Yeah. All right. Well, less than a minute to go. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and end it here. As I usually end my videos, if you're a praying sort, pray for me. I'm praying for you guys, okay? And we'll see you guys next week. Lord bless.